Alright, so one,
two, three. Winning time. Woo! Lethal Company, the perfect game for if you feel like sacrificing your friends and then laughing at them. Follow my voice. Follow my voice. Follow my voice. Follow my... However, have you ever sat down and thought, I'm having too much fun playing this? Me too. So in today's video, I've assembled the perfect team of challenge runners, none of which are classified as legally insane. Don't look into that. And our job is to see if we can complete the impossible Lethal Company challenge. Now with a title like that, you're probably already foaming at the mouth because of the potential for stupid ideas and lots of suffering. But before we can get to the good stuff, we first have to figure out what this impossible challenge actually is. Starting with the most important thing, how do we even win? Due to Lethal Company's gameplay loop, the game can technically be played infinitely. What we're supposed to do is land on different planets collecting scrap, and then sell that scrap to make money so we don't get Among Us'd or eaten by an octopus. You know, simple. So to ensure I don't get a kidnapping charge for forcing my teammates to play forever, we went with the general consensus and said that the end of the challenge would be Quota 10. This means we must successfully sell enough scrap to reach the provided profit goal 10 times in a row in one run. Regardless of if that sounds easy or not, it won't be, because now it's time for the rules. Rule number 1 is what we just talked about. We must reach the 10th quota. Any less and we're completing our failures, any more and you should probably call for help. Rule number 2, no running. You know that thing you do in every horror game? Yeah, no. We must rebind the sprint button and never use it again, regardless of what happens. Rule number 3, no jumping. Just like no running, we must rebind our jump button and never use it, which means no super easy parkour for us. Rule number 4, no crouching. Again, we gotta rebind the crouch button and resist the urge to drag our nuts across the floor. And finally, rule number 5, no items. Throughout our run, we aren't allowed to use any items, meaning nothing can be bought from the store, regardless of what it is. Even if it's a ship upgrade, I don't care, no store. We can't use any scrap that gives the player a competitive advantage, such as stop signs, shotguns, DIY flashbangs, etc. And no using keys to unlock doors, even if it means we can't explore the rest of the moon, as well as no opening gifts, which is just sad. Simply put, the item primary use button, no. Also, just so you know, this challenge was attempted a while ago, more specifically when the game was in version 50. So there's no barber entity, no changes to the coil head entity, no man-eater entity, no mine interior, no belt bags, and no meteor showers. Basically, all the things I explained in this video are explained as if the game was still in version 50. Some things might be wrong now, but they weren't when we filmed this. Finally, this video is a mix of challenge footage and non-challenge footage, mainly just when I'm explaining stuff so I could use specific examples. But the way you tell the two apart is by looking at the chat in the bottom left. If there's multiple names, it's challenge footage. If there's only one, it's not. Also, just like every other challenge I do, the full uncut run will be on my second channel, Chicken Ninja 43, as well as in the description. And with all that said, we can finally get this show on the road, so here's how I ruined my friends' lives. Starting off the challenge, the first thing we need to do is decide which moon we want to begin the challenge on. From the start, there are 6 different moons we can land on: Experimentation, Assurance, Vow, Offense, March, and Adamance. The moon we decided to start the challenge on was Adamance, and that was for a few reasons. Firstly, Experimentation was automatically taken off the list as it requires both of our teammates to stay outside the factory. Teammate 1 has to stay behind this fence to grab items since it's impossible to get back over without jumping. And teammate 2 has to stay inside the ship in order to grab two-handed items from teammate 1 because we aren't able to jump to get them inside the ship. It is possible to get two-handed items in the ship solo, except this can only be done on moons where the ship is low enough to walk onto, or the ship has objects around it we can place the item on and later grab once we're inside the ship. After that, we can scratch off Offense because it's incapable of spawning beehives. This sounds like a good thing, but for reasons I'll explain later, it's not. With those off the list, we can now completely get rid of every other moon, those being Vow, Assurance, and March due to them having nothing to steal. Looking at the average scrap value, average scrap amount, scrap value per pound of weight, scrap density, and overall profit of the 4 remaining moons, We can easily see that Adamant stands out as the best moon throughout every category, being the highest in 3 and the second highest in the other 2. I chose these categories specifically because we need a moon that can provide lots of valuable scrap, and we need to be able to carry this scrap back to the ship quickly since we can't sprint, jump, crouch, or use items. The only downside to Adamance as a landing location is its difficulty. Based on the max indoor and outdoor power levels, which pretty much just determine how many enemies can spawn on a map, it does not look good for Adamance because, you know, it has the second highest indoor power level, that being 13, which is 1 behind March's 14, and for the outdoor power level, it has the highest out of all the available moons and the second highest in the entire game. But you know what they say, high risk, high reward, and you know I like to gamble, which means for this challenge, we're headed to Adamance, or as Alec calls it, Abundance.
I kind of want to run it since we are making less money with Abundance being nerfed.
That's not its name.
Or as Sam calls it, Avalanche.
Like I said, I think that was our average avalanche, or like a really good avalanche.
It's not Avalanche.
I don't fucking know. Landing on Adamance, the map itself is pretty simple. It's like a big cereal bowl, but instead of cereal, we get these pieces of shit. The main strategy we implemented for this map was Sam and I would head down to the main entrance while Alec went off to the left to check the fire exit. Whenever anybody had a full inventory of items, they would head back to the ship either by walking up this hill or by using this secret spot I discovered to skip without jumping. If it was late, usually around 5 PM, which is when the monsters start doing coke, whenever we would bring stuff back to the ship, we would just wait there and watch the cameras to ensure one person was always safe, because if you didn't know, this challenge is actually even worse. If all 3 of us die in one day, then all the items we have saved up in the ship disappear. Pretty much, if all 3 of us get killed, we have to reset the run all over again, regardless of how close we are to winning. For the first quota, it went as well as you could have expected it to go. On day 1, Alec came across probably the luckiest fire escape spawn I have ever seen in my life.
Hello. There's nothing.
Get it? Because we can't jump over the gaps? This is a fucking terrible idea. We also came across something known in the game as the locker room, but we like to call it the chicken room. This is because of, well, the lockers. They're capable of spawning lots of valuable loot, and in regular playthroughs, you're meant to crouch and grab the stuff in the lockers. Meaning it should be impossible to get these items during this challenge. No. For some ridiculous reason, I was the only person who could actually grab the items. We thought it had something to do with me being the host. I don't fucking know, it's just the chicken room. From there, it was just more the basics. We found jugs full of chemicals, made meth, formed an empire, and then I got eaten by a dog with no eyeballs.
Yeah, baby. Ow, 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 ow. Why?
Yeah. Eyeless dogs. They suck. On Adamance, they have a 20% chance to spawn, which isn't too bad. The bad part about them is we can't escape them. The AI behind the eyeless dogs is rather simple. When they spawn, they enter something known as the patrolling phase, which is where they just walk around. A dog will stay in this phase until a sound is played near them, such as, I don't know, walking. If they hear this sound, then they will enter the suspicious phase, which is where they walk towards whatever made the noise. If more noise is made during the suspicious phase, the dog will enter the chasing phase, which is where they turn into penguins. The big problem with this is, if we ever come in contact with a dog hitbox, we are insta-killed. This does seem like a pretty simple thing to fix, just move away from them. Whoever said that, I hate you. We're not allowed to run away from them because it's illegal, we can't walk away from them because that makes noise and gets us killed, and we can't crouch walk in order to not make noise because it's also illegal. Pretty much, if a dog spawns in any place that is somewhat inconvenient, we're dead. Also, just so you know, all the information I used to explain the monsters in this video comes from the wiki as well as these videos made by Alter Ego. Their videos go way more in depth than this one, so if you want to learn more about the entity AI, go check them out. After that whole thing, we kind of had a problem on the final day of Quota 1. Adamance was flooded. For now, I'm not going to explain exactly what that means since it becomes a lot more important later, but just so you know, if we were to go to Adamance, then it would be a horrible experience. So now we had a choice to make. What moon would we go to now?
Adamance is flooded, but March is fine, so I think March, right?
Yeah, just do March. Yeah, probably March.
Do we scan?
Sure.
Well, that seemed simpler than I thought. The purpose of going to March instead of a more valuable moon-like offense is because of one thing: beehives. Beehives themselves can only spawn on 6 moons, having the highest chance to spawn on March with a 35% chance. If you're wondering why it sounds like I am the #1 beehive glazer, that's for a good reason. Not only are they the 3rd most valuable scrap in the entire game, behind the gold bar and the cash register, but they also weigh less than a dead body, and a f***ing egg, I guess. Needless to say, these beehives are great for this challenge, so let's figure out how to get them. Specifically on March, they can spawn, here, and we know we found them when we hear this sound effect. Or we just see them. However, it's not as simple as just picking them up, because these beehives are occupied by entities known as circuit bees, which are these disgusting looking bees. Like, bro, when a player tries to grab the beehive, they will be chased by these bees until they either get far enough away or are killed. In a normal game, you can easily grab these solo by baiting the bees, running around them, and then grabbing the hive. But we can't run. So unless we get absolutely perfect alignment where we can outwalk the bees, we just have to sacrifice somebody. With the beehive in our possession, we would drop it off at the front of the ship to ensure the bees didn't return to the hive inside our ship. Don't ask how we know.
Alright, I got the other thing.
What, the beehives are in here? And when we take off, we would grab the beehives to make sure they didn't despawn. And there we go. That's how you get a beehive without functioning legs. You just have to kill somebody. Most of the time it was me. I don't know why I kept volunteering. With the 3rd day in the books and both Alec and I massacred by bees, that was it for Quota 1. All we have to do now is go to the company building. The company building is the only moon in the game without enemies, and it's where we go to sell our scrap. Remember when I said we could get eaten by an octopus? That's the guy we sell our scrap to. Also, depending on who's asking, he can also help you commit tax fraud. And his street name is the Company Monster, and his government name is Jeb. And I'm also wearing a wire. He's meant to be like a tentacle guy. At least I hope that's a monster tentacle. Anyways, the first profit quota is the only one that stays the same for every playthrough, being $130. Luckily for us, we had a beehive worth that exact amount, meaning we can easily get to Quota 2. Back in the ship, we immediately set our navigation to orbit the Big Money Moon. At, March. Yeah, it's back to March we go. But come on, how can you not have a good time at March? I'll tell you how. Explosives.
How the fuck did I make it past that?
Okay, that was a bit embarrassing, so let's lie about it.
No, I just got shot when I entered my fire exit.
Gosh.
Adamance is good now.
That's a classic.
With me dead from a frame-perfect 200 pump, Alec and Sam decided that one of them should stay at the ship and the other should leave to grab extra scrap. Basically, Sam decided he was ready to die. This time, it wasn't from a dog. Instead, his death was provided by an arguably worse indoor entity known as a thumper. Thumpers are the worst things imaginable. Sharks with legs. They have a 24.18% chance of spawning on March and are normally not a big deal. They'll spawn inside the factory and start by patrolling around looking for things to kill. Luckily for us, they are deaf, so sound isn't a problem. However, if they manage to find us while patrolling around, they will begin charging at us, making this sound. Thumpers will continue charging at very fast speeds until they lose sight of the player, after which they will investigate around where they saw the player last. In normal playthroughs, you can easily dodge a thumper by jumping over them, running around corners to break sight, or assaulting them. In this challenge though, we're dead. Just like dogs, if we get anywhere close to these guys when they spawn, there's basically nothing we can do. Our only hope is to get away from them without being seen, which is by no means easy since we can't use flashlights. So alternatively, we need to listen out for this sound effect. If that sound is heard, we need to calmly walk out of there in an orderly fashion while screaming for our lives. After that terrible March experience, we finally got lucky enough to return to Adamance without having to deal with any weather modifiers. Sam and I made it out of the factory early with lots of scrap, which meant I could head back to the factory while he stayed back looking for beehives. A while later, Alec got bored, so he attempted to rob a bug of his rubber duck. Unfortunately, John Wick was reincarnated as that bug, and we were now on the top of his hit list. This bug I'm talking about is known as a hoarding bug, or a yippee bug. Scratch that, I'm just sticking with Hoarding Bug. On Adamants, they have a 15.7% chance of spawning and are the first entity in this video that doesn't make me want to walk off a ledge. Hoarding Bugs themselves have 3 different phases: roaming, guarding, and aggro. In the roaming phase, they'll randomly move around the map, searching through rooms the player has previously been in, looking for items. If a Hoarding Bug finds an item, it will take it back to an area known as its nest and enter the guarding phase. They'll also enter the guarding phase if a player gets too close to the hypothetical nest, or if the bug hears a player making a noise by either crouching, walking, running, or like screaming. In the guarding phase, they take the item back to the nest and they sit on it. Not in like a weird way. They stay in this phase for 15 seconds before roaming again, unless the player gets too close to the nest or tries to commit a felony by robbing them, not by doing anything else. If one of these things happen, they enter the aggro phase, which is the point of no return. We're dead. There's different levels of hostility, but they don't matter much. Once the bug gets pissed off, it starts flying and chases the player while damaging them and causes sporadic Mario-themed outbursts.
There's a bug. There's a bug. There's a bug. There's 2 bugs. Mamma mia!
In this challenge, the way we deal with hoarding bugs is by being model citizens and not engaging in petty space theft. Although, if we get bored and decide to do it anyways, all we can do after they're aggroed is drop the item that was stolen and hope they leave us alone. If we don't know what item is the stolen one, we just need to run our pockets and pray the bug shows us mercy. When we got attacked during this run, we were lucky enough to be close to a fire exit, and Alec just managed to walk his ass out of there while only taking 1 hit of damage. With all this action the past few days, the final day was our time to actually play the game. We all went to find scrap, Alec went back and stayed at the ship, I got lost in the factory, and then I got eaten by a tree. These guys are known as forest giants, however, I'm not going to explain them now as we have a worse experience with them later. With our punch card stamped, we headed over to the company building to sell and reach Quota 2, which for this run was $233. However, instead of just selling the specified amount that we're supposed to, we had the impulsive decision to sell a lot more than that. Now I know what you're thinking. He's not taking his meds, because the rule specifically stated that you cannot buy anything from the store. What the f are you gonna do with all that money? Remember what we did with those chemicals back in Quota 1? Well, there's an untapped market on some moons, but they are very far away and actually cost money to go to. These moons consist of Rend, Dine, Titan, Embryon, and Artifice, and each of them cost a different amount of money to reach, the money we earn from selling our scrap. So instead of being little babies and selling the basic amount in order to go to another free moon for Quota 3, we're gonna put on our big boy spacesuits and oversell in order to reach a moon known as Rend. With that extra money in our pockets, we're able to spend the $550 to orbit Rend, and if you're trying to yell at me, no, the moons don't appear in the stores, so they are legally purchasable. The reason we chose Rend was because of its lower difficulty, being ranked at an A risk level, while the other pay-to-win maps were ranked at an S, S+, or S++. Rend also has the 2nd highest average scrap value in the entire game, and is one of the only maps in the game where thumpers won't spawn. Apart from that, the only other difference has to do with Rend's interior. Instead of the factory, which has been the interior for both Adamants and March, Rend instead has the manor interior. It's not that big of a difference, really all it means is more rooms and generally larger rooms. And cows. For example, Adamants has a map size multiplier, which is the thing that determines how big the interior will be, valued at 1.18, while Rend has a multiplier of 1.80. With that said about the inside, the outdoor portions of Rend are very simple. There's the main entrance located here, and the fire exit located here, and another house we can break into located here. That last one isn't important, it doesn't spawn any scrap, although it does work as a good forest giant panic shelter. As for Rend's strategy, I would most of the time go to the fire exit alone taking this path, while Alec and Sam went to the main entrance taking this path. Other than that, the only change to the strategy we made was having one person at the ship more frequently. Since there's a significantly smaller outdoor power level on this map, the first person with a full inventory of items would leave immediately and use this rock to get two-handed items into the ship. The 2 people still left in the building would stack items at the door for the outside person to grab and bring back to the ship. Once it got late, the outside person would no longer leave to grab door items and instead watch the other 2 people die on the cameras. Getting back to the challenge, the first day went pretty well. Alec was the first person out as he was carrying a cash register, which meant he was the outdoor guy. Ha, psych. It's time for some gaslighting. Okay, maybe that's not what happened, although somehow Sam managed to become the outdoor guy and Alec left to once again remind us why dogs absolutely suck in this challenge. While on the ship, potentially out of guilt, Sam developed a mild case of schizophrenia. That's a thing in this game. The entity doing this is known as the Ghost Girl. She has the highest chance of spawning on Rend with a 4.95% chance, and her AI is way too complicated. Throughout all the hours of attempts, we never even died to her a single time. All you need to know is she targets one employee and chases them down trying to kill them without them seeing her. The nice thing is, since Sam is in the ship, the odds of him being killed are extremely low as she only has line of sight if she looks through the ship's entrance. So he was perfectly fine and was able to start the ship up and take us to day 2, which was arguably the worst one we've ever had. About 1 minute into us spawning and entering the manor, this happened.
Oh, I got a kitchen! What?
Oh, Jester! That's bad.
That's right, a Jester spawned. Jesters are another horrible entity in this challenge, and they're even worse because just like the Ghost Girl, they have the highest chance of spawning on Rend with a 14.85% chance to spawn. When a Jester spawns, they will start in the roaming phase where they walk around looking for an employee to terrorize. When this happens, they will follow that employee for around 13 to 18 seconds before entering the winding phase. During this phase, they will stand still and begin a 42-second timer while winding themselves. I feel like I'm not supposed to be watching this. I'm uncomfortable. As soon as this timer is up, the Jester will enter its next phase, and it's the purge. The Jester will instantly know where every player is on the map and tracks down the closest player by running at them with a speed at which they can outrun a sprinting employee. Upon one touch from a Jester, the player will be insta-killed, and then the Jester will begin chasing down the next closest employee until everyone is dead. So yeah, even in regular playthroughs, these things suck. All you can do is immediately leave the building upon seeing a Jester, and if you hear this noise, it's time to speedrun a Last Will and Testament. With the day completely ruined, Sam snuck his way into being the camera guy again, which meant Alec was shipped off as a sacrifice.
Bracken.
Oh yeah, baby. We got another entity to talk about, the Bracken. Brackens, aka Flowermen. What the fuck are these names? They have the third highest chance to spawn on Rend with a 12.63% chance of spawning. Just like a lot of entities in this game, the Bracken has 3 different phases: hunting, retreating, and aggro. The hunting phase is the same as the roaming phase. Brackens constantly know where all players are and will silently follow the closest one to them, attempting to find a window to kill them. When they get close, most of the time they will hide in corners or on a floor above you in an attempt to sneak attack. This is what happened to Alec in that clip. The retreating phase is engaged when the player sees the Bracken trying to sneak up on them. In this phase, the Bracken will back as far away as they can in 23 seconds before entering the hunting phase again. However, they will only enter this phase if you look at them for a short amount of time. Looking at them for too long makes them enter phase 3. In the aggro phase, if you continue to look at them, they will begin chasing you and as a result, kill you. They also have... I'm not saying it. They aren't that big of a deal unless you're Alec. For some reason, they really like him.
There's a bracket, by the way. Yep.
Brother.
Apart from that, the only real problem is their speed. Specifically during their hunting phase, a normal player will be faster than them when sprinting. Since we can't, it just means they're able to sneak up behind us a lot faster. This also isn't helped by the lack of flashlights. After that absolutely horrible day 2, day 3 ended up being an average day. The only eventful thing that happened was me fighting for my life in order to save a fancy lamp I found, and then I blew up. The third quota in this run ended up being $355, but since we wanted to return back to Rend, we oversold again to make $550 so we could go back. Yeah, same old, same old. We left for Rend once again, except this time the day went significantly better than all the previous ones. Alec was again the first to the ship, which left me and Sam in the manor. Eventually I got bored and decided to do some super epic, insane... Wow.
I don't really know. This right area is not. So main entrance to the right.
Where?
I'm heading back. Yeah, so that door and then go to the right a little. Are you a mimic? No, you're moving too much to be a mimic.
I'm a mimic.
I don't think so.
You really think a mimic could pull off those moves?
For some reason, you can get on top of these bookshelves without jumping. I know, I'm a great teammate. I managed to make it back to the ship despite there being a forest giant right next to the ship. Then Alec decided completely on his own accord that he wanted to have the worst day of his life.
Alec
does not look like he's having a fun time right now.
What is following? Oh, it's got to be a mimic. They got him.
It's pretty big.
After that, somehow I decided I wanted to go back inside and grab the items that were at the door, and I had one of the closest calls ever.
Motherfucker!
That right there is an entity I won't talk about yet. I just wanted to show how close I was to being absolutely brutalized. Day 1 of Quota 4 was one of our most successful days ever, and it made us super hopeful that this could potentially be the attempt. And then I opened the computer just to see that Rend was eclipsed. Eclipsed is another weather modifier in this game, but unlike the other times I've mentioned weather, I'm actually going to explain what it does now. Weather is a modifier that gets added to moons completely at random, although some moons can only be affected by a specific list of weather conditions. These weather types consist of clear, rainy, stormy, foggy, flooded, and eclipsed. The types that matter to the challenge are stormy, flooded, and eclipsed. If you want to know what the others do, clear does nothing, rainy spawns mud patches on the ground that the player can drown in.
There's mud.
No, are you instantly dead?
Oh my god. Wait. Alec Thropel?
Alec is dead.
Alec is... Alec
I'm
Thropel.
also dead.
Are you serious?
I'm also dead, sorry.
And foggy makes things foggy. Getting back to the important ones, stormy is the weather that occurred last quota, and it's the reason why my lamp turned into a bomb. Basically, whenever the player steps outside with a conductive scrap, which is any of these, that item has the chance to begin sparking and will be struck by lightning a few seconds later. The way we avoid this is by once again emptying our pockets and waiting for the lightning to strike. Overall, it's not that bad. It just makes walking back to the ship significantly slower. Next up, we have Eclipsed. An eclipsed moon is like being excited for Christmas and then looking in your stocking to find out someone shit in it. Hopefully you think that's bad. When loading into an eclipsed moon, a set number of indoor and outdoor entities will immediately spawn in, and to make it worse, there's still enemies that can spawn and will have an increased chance to do so. Take Rend for example. At the start of the day, enemies will have spawning chances based on this portion of the graph, and when it's night, it changes to this portion. When Rend is eclipsed, that whole first part is removed, and enemies have an immediate boost in spawns for the whole day. As for the final weather condition flooded, it can't occur on Rend, so I'll wait for us to head to Adamant's and for Alec to have the worst day of his life part 2.
Yeah.
Ouch.
He got caught in the classic Forest Giant and Thumper sandwich.
Here's some disgusting shit.
Anyways, back to your weather report. It's time to talk about floods, more specifically, flooded adamants. On other moons, floods work in a way you can probably guess. The water level constantly rises on the map, reaching its max height at 5 PM, and if you spend too much time fully submerged in this flood, you drown. However, on the moon's adamants and Dine, these floods work in reverse. The water level starts high and decreases over time. This sounds like a good thing, but it's not. First off, when it's flooded, the only way across is by either the left bridge or the right bridge. The left bridge requires jumping, so no, and the right bridge will break if weight is applied to it for too long. It's fine for crossing it initially because we only weigh 5 pounds, but when we come back with an inventory full of items, it's impossible to cross the bridge fast enough without running, so it just breaks. As a result, we need to wait for nighttime when the water level is low enough to take items back, which is when the entities come to kill us. This whole thing is just bad. In terms of a strategy, there is none. We just have to hope that when the water's low enough, there's no entities near our ship that can kill us. Of course, since we're professionals, we're not gonna die to water. Alec got shot, Sam got absorbed by a slime, and I sat in the ship pissing my pants because I thought a worm was gonna eat me. In summary, 7 out of 10 experience for Quota 4. We only had to sell 523 to make Quota, which means we only had to oversell a bit to reach Rend. I think all this Rend stuff is starting to get to me.
Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm gonna be exploring this woman's mansion. I really hope she's not still in here, because I'm robbing her.
For day 1, we got Stormy Rend, which didn't help at all. I also might have gotten bit by a monster and sat in a corner for 5 minutes. That's alleged. This led to Alec leaving the ship to go grab my stuff, and of course, he still has the worst luck.
Alright. Good luck. Me.
Oh,
there's a dog. Yeah, you should just leave.
Okay, bad start, but we definitely turned it around on day 2. Sam was the first to leave for the ship at around 1 p.m., leaving Alec and I inside pretty close to each other since the fire exit spawned in a weird spot. So I tried warning Alec about an entity I heard roaming the halls, specifically one we haven't talked about, but it was too late. He was already face to face with a nutcracker. The nutcracker again has the highest odds to spawn on Rend with a 24.75% chance. And nutcrackers spawn as all good entities do, in the roaming phase. In this phase, they patrol for 8 to 17 seconds before entering their second phase, the inspection phase. Here, they will pause and scan the room by revealing their eye and doing a full 360 turn. If the nutcracker doesn't see a player while inspecting, they will return to phase 1, often roaming around in the room close to the player. However, if the nutcracker spots a player during phase 2, they will enter phase 3, the aggro phase. In phase 3, the nutcracker begins shooting the player while becoming more British and will hunt down the player until they're dead. They do this by firing 2 shots from their gun and then pausing to reload before shooting another 2 times. When the player dies, the nutcracker will go back to phase 1 and repeat the same 2 steps until they see another player. They can also kick us to death. Basically, if we touch them ever, we get punted. Normally, these guys aren't a huge deal. They do suck just in general, but they can be killed quite easily using a shovel. But in this challenge, that's not an option, since we can't use shovels or signs or any weapons at all. Or can we? Looking at every single scrap in the game, there are a total of 6 items that can kill entities. The stop sign and yield sign can be used to just beat things, the kitchen knife can be used to stab things, the shotgun can be used to shoot things, and the DIY flashbangs can be used to blow yourself up. That one doesn't really count, it's just funny. Although each of those items require us to use the left mouse button, which is banned, but one of them doesn't. The only one I didn't name, the Easter egg. Now I know I sound insane, because I always do, but these things aren't just eggs. Every time an egg gets thrown, it has a 16% chance to blow up. That's right, it's a bomb. However, I know what you're gonna say. You can't throw eggs because that uses the left mouse button. And you would be right, but these eggs also have a chance to blow up when we drop them. So now we have a completely legal way of killing enemies in this challenge. All we have to do is drop Easter-themed weapons of mass destruction that may or may not work in order to kill things. Yep, I'm definitely on a watch list. In addition to that, these eggs aren't just used to kill entities. They can also be used to perform what we like to call an egg speen. Egg because the trick requires an Easter egg, and speen because Sam mispronounced the word speed once and we made fun of him. This trick can be used to cover massive horizontal and vertical distances in a matter of seconds, allowing us to reach places that would otherwise be impossible to reach without items or jumping. The trick itself is moderately hard to pull off, requiring us to drop an egg, get lucky enough for it to explode, and have the egg dropped in the right spot for the explosion to push us where we want. But regardless of how difficult it is to do, we are professionals, so there's no way to stop us from pulling off some sick-ass tricks.
Either that or we are the luckiest players in Lethal Company. Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yes! Yes!
It's money making time, baby.
We did it!
Alright, well, can't grab the meth because, oh my god! Well, I made it.
So that's pretty fun, right? Not as fun as legalized murder.
I don't know if bottles of metallic.
Oh, I got the nutcracker! I got him!
Dude.
Wait, I can take his gun! I got his gun!
With that nutcracker embarrassed, Alec was able to pick up his shotgun. We can't use it, but it's more so an award to say that we killed something without being able to do anything. Great, Alec lived to tell the tale of how he became a murderer. There's absolutely no way that this could go bad.
Or wait, do you know where all the stuff is? Maybe you go back.
There is, no, I don't know what it is. Oh my god! What?
What killed us? Oh my god, what?
Where's the ship, dude?
What killed us?
I don't know.
Hello? Why does it not scan the ship? I'm like right here. Can you open the door?
He thinks that we did that.
What the f happened?
I just you guys.
Oh my god! No! But did you guys like shoot each other or something? I had so much stuff.
Oh my god, that's such a weird scene to walk.
Yeah, apparently if you press Q, you can turn on the shotgun's safety, but if you have it off and drop the gun, there's a 5% chance for it to misfire. That could have been extremely bad. Luckily, the shotgun didn't claim a triple kill, and we were able to keep all of our stuff and head to Adamant's, because we got the worst weather luck of all time. With all the rend runs we've been doing, Adamant's was a walk in the park, just not calming enough to suppress my need to kill PD piranha birds.
I got a friend, and now I've kidnapped him.
Oh, wait a minute. That's illegal.
Oh my god, I dropped an egg!
Why would you do that? You need.
Because I didn't know I had it.
You risked his life, and for what?
Well, I'm gonna put it in here and I'm gonna kill him.
Oh my god, no!
While Sam and I got to chill on the ship, Alec was trying his absolute hardest to do the left side skip I mentioned a long time ago. You know, this one. For some reason, the game really didn't want him up there, so in an attempt to be a good friend, I left the ship to try and help him. That was a terrible idea.
There's a guy coming. Owie, owie, owie!
Hey, hey, hey! No! No!
That is a baboon hawk. What the fuck is a baboon hawk tour? Alright, I'm done. Baboon hawks have the highest chance of spawning on Adamant's with a 54.74% chance to spawn, and when they do, there's a lot of them. Like, the max amount that can spawn is 15. They are single-handedly the worst part about this map.
We should leave. We should probably leave. But no, no. Oh yeah, you can grab that easy. Oh my god, he's alive! Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm really long.
No, Sam's dead.
Are you on the other side?
I'm dead. Don't do it. They're coming for me. Take this and run. Caca! 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 Hey, eat my d. The sample chample. See, that's why you're on the team. Holy sh. He's good so far. No, he is not. Oh my god.
The AI for these things is super complex. There's alpha baboon hawks and lone hawks and a bunch of equations, so I'm just gonna try and make it as simple as possible. Baboon hawk AI consists of 3 phases: scouting, returning, and combat. The first phase, the scouting phase, consists of baboon hawks traveling around the map looking for scrap the player has dropped outside. They do this in 2 ways, either by being a lone hawk and being super emo, going to grab scrap on their own, or the other way they do it is by traveling in a unit with the leader determining where to go and the other members following them. If an item is found or a random time between 25 to 70 seconds pass, then they will enter the second phase, returning. In this phase, the hawk that picked up the item instantly becomes a lone hawk if they weren't already, and move to a random location that they determine as their nest. Once at the nest, they just sit there admiring the thing that they stole from us. If the player ends up getting too close to a baboon hawk, not just in their nest, just in general, they will enter phase 3, combat. They begin this phase by increasing their fight timer, which increases the more time the player spends close to them. If this timer gets too high, the hawk will begin attacking by predicting where the player will be and chomping at them, killing us in 5 hits. For a generally tame entity, it seems a bit harsh to say that they are the worst thing, but I'm not lying. Since we can't run away from these guys, and because there's so many that spawn on adamants, lots of them try to engage in combat with us because we're too close to them, and then we get eaten. Normally, you would just beat these guys up. They leave the combat phase instantly upon being damaged. But we have no way of doing that. Technically, we can egg them, but that sends us to Madagascar. So, just like every other enemy, we just have to hope that they're nice and leave us alone. After that whole thing, Alec managed to have an even worse time, because he again had the worst day of his life. He was chased by a mask, which is an enemy I'll talk about later, and was eventually killed by an Earth Leviathan, aka Big Worm. The Earth Leviathans are a super rare entity, so I won't really talk about them. Basically, if you hear this noise, you have a few seconds to get away before it engulfs you. Whatever, we didn't see it enough for it to be a problem. With all of that finished, we already had to turn in quota, which had skyrocketed to $700, which is really bad because the last few days sucked. The nice thing about these later quotas is we no longer have to oversell to reach Rend, which is a good thing because we're gonna need all the scrap we can get to beat this challenge. Our first day back on Rend, we spent debating why Sam and Alec just imploded last round, since we've never seen a shotgun do that. Due to this whole shotgun hysteria, Alec ended up coming down with a case of schizophrenia.
I think I hear the girl. The ghost girl? Oh! Yeah! What is that? Is that chicken?
That's me. I'm up here, losers.
I finally had my chance to be the outside guy, but I saw Alec leaving as well, and with my history of being physically incapable of sitting in the ship, I decided to head back.
Oh, hello. No! Bro, what?
I don't know what happened here. I don't think I looked at him for too long, he just killed me. But today, I still wasn't having the worst time out of the 3 of us, because now it's time for the worst day of Sam's life.
Yeah, alright.
Oh man, my teammate's dead. Let's see it get worse.
Oh my gosh, immediately! Ah! Oh!
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately, we didn't have any eggs to blow him up since we literally just spawned. Although, something funnier than that, I have never in my life seen someone leave faster than Alec did when he saw that nutcracker. It was obviously a smart move to make sure one person was still alive, but he got the out of there. We ended up regrouping at the ship to make sure everyone was still alive, which we were. So as punishment for his frequent Family Guy watching, we sent Sam over to survey the area.
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah, that guy. That's a coil head. We're gonna talk about them now. They have the 3rd highest chance to spawn on Rend with a 10.64% chance to spawn. If they do, they spawn in their roaming phase, which is the same as all the other entities. If a player gets within a coil head's detection range, then the coil head will enter their chasing phase. During this phase, the coil head will relentlessly pursue the player, but will only move and attack when they aren't being looked at. If it ends up killing the player, it will find the next closest player and begin chasing them. The rules don't affect dealing with these guys at all. You can't kill them, and really all you need to do is look at them. The strategy is, if you hear this noise, turn around as fast as humanly possible, and then have the world's most uncomfortable staring contest. Considering that Sam was meant to be a sacrifice, but he survived, we didn't want to mess with fate, so Sam and I went to test out exploring more of the fire exit, while Alex stayed back at the ship. Unfortunately, the fire exit was right next to the main entrance, which meant I had to stare at the coil head while Sam looked around for scrap. This worked pretty well. Sam found a perfume bottle and a magic 7 ball before we both decided to leave, making it out safely. The problem is, we still need to make it back to the ship.
Oh, no. Close it, yeah.
You die to him. You die to him.
Drag him away.
Yeah.
You go. Go.
Yeah, I'm going. Launch the ship.
I am finally gonna talk about the forest giants, or the forest keepers, or the forest guardians, or giants.
Why are there so many names?
The forest giants, which is what I'm gonna call them, have the third highest chance to spawn on Rend with a 39.47% chance of spawning. Just like every other entity, the forest giants have 3 phases: roaming, suspicion, and chasing. The roaming phase consists of him walking around being a big dude looking for things to kill. They continue to do this until a player enters their line of sight, making them enter phase 2. In phase 2, they stand still and watch the player. If the player stays in their line of sight for too long, then they enter phase 3. The time it takes for forest giants to switch into phase 3 depends on many factors, such as how close the player is, whether they are crouching or not, and whether they're moving. Upon entering phase 3, they will start sprinting after the player. However, they can be outrun by a player that's sprinting. They stay in this phase until either the player is killed or the player breaks the line of sight for 3 seconds. If the player escapes, the forest giant will begin searching, which is just the roaming phase, but they're sprinting. Trust me, we never see this phase. Without being able to run or crouch, that makes dealing with these guys a lot more difficult. Pretty much the only thing we can do is hide behind trees and only move when they have their backs turned. Sadly, maps like Rend and Adamants don't really have any trees. So if we ever heard this noise, that means we're gonna be killed in about 5 seconds, so we would try and drop all of our items in the hope that someone else could grab them later. That day didn't go very well, and neither did the final day. Sam and I both brought items back and just decided to stay in the ship rather than go back to get items. We were scared. This meant we had front row seats to Alec being killed.
Alec looks to be currently getting chased down by a mimic.
Okay, why is that guy hitting 360s? Oh, he definitely got him. Yeah, he got him.
Heading over to the company building, the quota was already up to $910, and with how we're playing, we aren't gonna beat this challenge. So we gotta lock the f in. By the time we reached quota 7, we had been recording for so long that for Sam and Alec, it was already 1 AM. So all the deaths you saw, we don't suck, we're just tired. Pretty much that whole locking in thing, it's not gonna happen because our brains have been microwaved. Day 1 of Rend was of course stormy, yet we completely disregarded that and cooked. Alec became the outside guy, bringing multiple full inventories back to the ship, and I got stuck in a labyrinth inside the manor until this happened.
Hello? Does that mean the fire exit? I don't know what that was the fire exit. Holy shit, the fire exit made a noise.
This is a rare sound effect that plays near a fire exit, and it literally saved my life. I also didn't know it existed. Whatever, we made $737 on the first day. The business is finally working out. Fuck! Instead of going to rainy Adamants, we instead went to foggy March. Due to the limited mobility in this challenge, the mud spots created when it rains can sometimes just make the map impossible to traverse without jumping or running. March, as we know, is super easy, so Sam was able to escape back to the ship, which means one player is already safe, and it's time for me to provide the only thing I can: content.
I want to kill this spider. I think it'd be funny.
Kill it. Squish it. You didn't squish it. You didn't squish it. Oh! Fuck yeah! I killed it! Oh yeah, I wanted to join Alec in the murderer club, which meant I had to squish that entity known as a bunker spider. Spiders have the third highest odds of spawning on March with a 20.92% chance, and they have virtually the same phases as everyone else: roaming, standby, and aggro. During the roaming phase, they move around the factory looking for a spot to place webs. Once they find it, they'll walk around placing more webs in adjacent rooms. The first phase lasts between 1 to 2 minutes, and once they're finished, they will immediately enter phase 2. In phase 2, they climb up a wall and just wait there until either the player gets too close to them, the player enters a web, or the player breaks a web. If one of these things happen, then they will enter phase 3. Also, in the clip where I kill it, you can see that it's in phase 2, because yeah. In phase 3, they will relentlessly follow us until we are either killed, make it out of their detection range, or get far enough from the spot that they set up their webs. If we manage to escape them, then they will return back to phase 2. The nice thing about spiders is their basic speed is the exact same as our walking speed, meaning if we don't get cornered, we can theoretically never be caught. So in terms of the challenge, these guys aren't a big deal. Pretty much whenever we came across a spider web or heard this noise, we just wouldn't enter that area. And if we accidentally did aggro a spider, we would try our best to get as far away as possible without ending up in a web or a dead end. So with that big ego boost, we walked out of that factory feeling like tough guys, then Alec got lost in the fog, nearly drowned in mud, and then got eaten by a forest giant. Okay, not a very successful day 2. Actually, I don't even know if the word successful should be used in the same sentence as that. Although, it's gonna turn around because we can finally go to Adamant's. We can't go back to Ren because we're broke. When the ship lands, I have the chance to show off the ultimate schmovement.
Check this out.
Yo, you don't want to do the skip anymore? Wow. Oh!
Sure, that was cool, but we actually have to start playing serious. Not a fuck we don't.
$8 airbrush.
Do you wanna get beehives then?
Oh yeah, that's like.
Yo, he's in.
Yeah. Oh.
That's right, no jumping my ass because I can fly. Those are the PD piranha birds that I mentioned a while ago. They're called tulip snakes. They have a 6.35% chance to spawn on adamants and are little passive entities that roam around looking for players to latch onto, and with 2 or more of them on you, they make you fly.
Wait! Oh my god! Wait!
Apart from the cool movement, let's be honest, compared to Ren, Adamant sucks now. We did make some decent money, and all I had to do was get tased to death, but by far the best thing that happened this quota was something that Sam said that absolutely killed me.
$8 hairbrush. Who wants it?
You just unlocked a memory in my brain.
19 got a Fortnite card.
What? Interesting.
Why did you? What was that?
I don't know why I thought this was so funny, but it became the only thing in my vocabulary for about 5 minutes. It also wasn't helped by the fact that we had to sell it to make quota.
What do we need now?
49, so we're like 9 short, right?
Oh my god. $8 hairbrush.
The $8 hairbrush isn't quite right.
50. Get rid of the 49 and give him the $8 hairbrush.
$8 hair.
Wait, really? We get 18?
What? No, we get the $8.
Well, I'm trying to find the $8 hairbrush.
Wait, did we actually get another $8 hairbrush?
Yeah, it's $8 hairbrush. Once.
Oh wait, I think I'm factoring in because you dropped it.
He's giving it away.
To end off this quota, I wanted to talk about how the calculations are done for each quota, because right now it's the 7th quota and we need to sell $1,201. Why? Just like the Baboon Hawks, this whole thing is basically all functions and a lot of math, so again, I'm gonna try and simplify it as much as possible. After the first quota, each successive quota will increase based on a quadratic function, meaning the quota will increase more and more with each quota we complete rather than going up by a specific amount, basically just exponential increase. The quadratic function in question is based off this equation, which accounts for how many times we've completed a quota, as well as a random value off this curve. To get this value, the game selects a decimal between 0 and 1 and sets it as the x value. It'll then output whatever y value is present on the curve as the random number. One weird thing is, in the version 65 update, the more furniture you buy and put in your ship will actually lower the quota, because it changes this total luck value. And if you're wondering, that would also be banned, I guess? With this information, someone was able to approximate the function and create a table of average quota amounts. By looking at the table, we see that we actually got lucky. The average for Quota 7 is usually $1,300, whereas we only have to pay $1,200. So, woo! Alright, no more jumpless parkour, no more killing entities, and no more killing ourselves. Now's when we legit need to play smart. And smart we did. Throughout the 3 days of Quota 8, only one of us died a single time. During the first day, Alec was trapped in a corner with a nutcracker about to shoot him in the face. We had no hope for him. Sam started hitting a Fortnite dance. But amazingly, he snapped the shit out of the nutcracker's ankles and slammed a door in the face of a coil head, also he could bring back the $27 hairbrush. That day, we managed to bring back $703. We're swimming in it. For day 2, it was stormy, but that wasn't going to stop the money train. Again, each of us brought back a full inventory of items, and Sam joined the murderer club with an egg kill on a nutcracker, and himself. We're still smart though. Just like that, another $604 added to the ship for day 2. To close off day 3, it did get pretty scary with both a nutcracker and a jester spawning at my fire exit. Although, I learned from watching Alec and decided to get the fuck out of there, so we ended day 3 with $611. There we go, that was the entire quota. We just played insanely well, and this was probably our best showing of how we can get this challenge done. But who cares? That's not fun. You came here to see us get mobbed by 800 enemies. Unfortunately, I can't provide that just yet, so here's an alternative. I want to quickly explain the rest of the enemies in the game, of which there are 5. 2 somewhat affect the challenge, and the other 3 could have been removed from the game, and we never would have noticed. Starting with the most important 2, the Masked and the Snare Flea. The Masked is an enemy with a 6.19% chance of spawning on Rend, and looks exactly like a player, apart from a mask that they wear. These Masked will spawn in and roam around looking for a player, often mimicking movements that a normal player would do. When they find a player, they stare at them before pursuing them. If the Masked ever catch a player, they die. We can escape them by breaking line of sight, which is rather easy to do just by walking. Pretty much the only way we can get killed is if one sneaks up on us. Next up, the Snare Flea. On Rend, they only have a 7.67% chance of spawning, which is extremely low compared to other moons. Upon spawning, the Snare Flea will roam around looking for a spot to attach to the ceiling. A lot of the times, they do this above a door. They will stay attached to the ceiling until a player walks underneath them. Once that happens, they will drop down, latching onto the player's face, damaging them over time. Once a Snare Flea is on you, the only way to get them off is by exiting the building, which is kinda hard to do, or a teammate can knock the Snare Flea off with a shovel hit. These dudes are really only a problem because of our lack of flashlight. Unless we are constantly walking with a broken neck, most of the time we just don't see them and are subsequently killed because of it. This was more so a problem when we first began the challenge because we are now a lot more cautious. Also, they just don't spawn that much on Rend. Finally, we have the other 3 entities, the Hygrideer, Spore Lizard, and Old Bird. A Hygrideer is like a blob. That's it. They never spawn on Rend, only having a 1.49% chance to spawn. When they do, they instantly know the location of all players and will move towards the closest player. The thing is, they are literally the slowest things on planet Earth and will only kill the player if they step inside the blob because it does damage over time. The only way we can get killed is by being cornered or if a blob camps one of the entrances and insta-kills us. Next, the Spore Lizard also doesn't spawn on Rend, only having a 1.73% chance to spawn, and when they do, they don't do anything. Upon spawning, they will just walk around until they come in contact with a player. They will then attempt to intimidate the player before running away from us. They will only attack if the player attacks first or if the player gets too close. In addition to attacking, they will also spray a cloud of purple smoke to hide in. So the only way we can die to these dudes is if we feel like being assholes and try to bully them. And finally, the last entity in the game, the Old Bird. These robots don't even have a chance to spawn on Rend and will only spawn on adamants with a 2.11% chance. Old birds can only spawn outside the factory and will spawn inactive, so they just stand there. After a while, they will get activated and start roaming, looking for literally anything to kill. And when I say anything, I mean anything. They'll attack us, baboon hawks, eyeless dogs, forest giants, literally anything. They just like killing stuff. When they see something, they will start chasing by either walking towards them or flying with a jetpack. And after they get close enough, they'll either shoot missiles at us, try to stomp on us, take flight and try to squish us, or they'll try and grab us so they can shoot us with a flamethrower. What? The only way we can get killed by them is getting super unlucky. If they manage to spawn on adamants, most of the time they are preoccupied with shooting other stuff instead of us, but if they begin shooting at us, we have to hope they shoot a missile. Just like eggs, the explosion from missiles can spin us away from them, but
Spin me. Oh!
So almost did.
And just so you know, there is another entity in this game known as a butler, but they are easily the least important to the challenge. They only have a 4.46% chance to spawn on Rend and will only become aggressive if the player is isolated. Apart from that, they just look interesting. They have like a penis nose. Finally, with all that said, it's time to finish off Quota 8, which ended up being $1,667, and of course, we're gonna be super stingy and try to get the perfect number. We are absolutely dog shit at math. The penultimate quota is here, quota number 9, and you would be delusional if you think that the chefs are gonna stop cooking.
Left of Spike.
Oh, there's a jester.
Alright, Five Nights at Freddy's. Literally like 2 minutes after we landed on Rend, a jester had already spawned, which basically ended the day immediately. We tried moving over to the fire exit, hoping it was separate from the main entrance, so we could at least get some items.
Oh, Bracken is on the bookshelf. Okay.
He is. He's kind of sick with it, actually. Oh no, the jester's here.
After an absolutely ass-clenching escape from both the jester and the nutcracker, we had a team meeting at the ship, and we all, as a group, came to the consensus that Sam should go to get more items.
Is there any downside to having one person go?
You got it, Sam.
Do you want me to just go in and die instantly?
I can look back at Maine.
No, he's got it. We believe in you.
What do you want to do?
Sam's going to get it.
Well, I'm getting what? What am I getting?
The items. Go get it.
There's more secret?
I feel like there's just gonna be death over there. Try.
I mean,
I don't think
put
there's a
my
downside
bets.
as long as we're manning the door.
I will die instantly and tell you to leave.
Door?
Okay, I basically shoved him out the door, but in my defense, we did get a lot more money than we should have. Was that because Sam brought more back? No. Anyways, day 2 obviously wasn't as bad as day 1, since nothing can be as bad as day 1.
Hello?
follow me.
Oh my gosh,
Follow me.
it's
Follow me. Follow me.
Okay.
Fire exit. Then this way. Oh.
Ah, egg, get it ready, get it ready. Get the egg ready. You did not get the egg ready at all. God dang it.
I did get both of us killed. If I'm being honest, the first day didn't matter too much since we already had 2 people back in the ship, but this one was all my bad. I completely threw. I don't know when the nutcracker got there. I also don't know why it got aggroed. I also don't know why I just Windows blue screened and got shot. I don't know. It's all good. We made $300, but it's gonna be fine. I hate everything. Ladies and gentlemen, this is shaping up to be the worst quota we have ever had. A complete 180 from quota 8. So, in a moment of desperation, it was time for me to redeem myself and suggest we head to Titan. That's right, the S+ difficulty moon, known for being one of the hardest in the entire game, we were about to attempt without running, jumping, crouching, or using items. Titan itself is a very small map. Here's the ship and here's the stairs to the factory. This is nice, but Titan has an indoor power level of 18, which is 8 more than Rend and also is the highest in the entire game. In addition to that, Titan also has the highest map size multiplier in the whole game, meaning we also have the privilege of getting lost before we're murdered. Nice. But it does have the second highest average profit in the whole game, which is what we want. So, let's go. Landing on Titan, we decided to have Alex stay in the ship at the very beginning of the run, because Sam and I were most likely gonna die. He was also the best at keeping himself safe inside the ship. I went in the fire exit and Sam went in the main entrance. The plan going into this was to grab items, fall down onto this railing, and then drop the items all the way down the staircase to pick up later. It does sound like a decent strategy, except is it enough to save this run?
Oh my gosh, no way. Alright, fire exit's not a good... No,
We're falling apart. I was able to pretty much clear out the fire exit, but that only gave us 6 items, which meant Sam had to find some in the main entrance.
Dude.
Of course, it had to be a thumper. The worst entity in this whole challenge was about to single-handedly ruin it. The only chance we had at bringing this back was for me to go to the main entrance. That obviously wasn't gonna work, so with only $215 earned that day, it was time to head to the company building, sell to reach the $2,169 quota, and leave the fate of the entire run up to just 3 days of quota 10. Day 1, Rend was finally normal, not stormy, not eclipsed, just Rend. I went over to the fire exit, however there was quite literally not a single obtainable item in that whole spot, so I quickly switched to the main entrance where Sam had been piling up items for both Alec and I to take back to the ship. As per usual, we decided that Alec should stay at the ship and Sam and I would stick together gathering items. It was looking like we were finally going to catch a break and have a successful day until this happened.
Get past because I can't jump. Uh-oh. Watch out.
I'm gonna try and distract him. Hey.
But today, it was Sam's time to be a hero.
Try and bait him away. He's chasing me down.
He's coming after you.
Yeah. Ah, shoot.
Oh my god. He's the chosen one.
With that noble sacrifice, I was able to get back to the ship, although we were forced to leave due to a dog camping outside the ship. That day, we only made $349, and we need almost $3,000 to make quota, and there's only 2 days left. Day 2, we got lucky with Ren's weather again, and now all we have to do is get lucky with the enemy spawns.
God, really?
Before the Jester spawned, we were able to get some items back to the ship, but not nearly enough, so all we could do is have Alec wait at the ship and for Sam and I to head to the fire exit in the hopes that the Jester wouldn't be able to reach us.
No.
The run is practically over. We've had previous runs which made it to quota 9 or quota 8 just to suffer the same fate as this one. We get extremely unlucky. Alec tried to return to the fire exit but got lost since he wasn't used to going that way, which resulted in him being left behind. Day 2 made us about $600, again, not enough. So now it's time for the final day to determine everything. In about 2 minutes, all 3 of us were already bringing back full inventories of items. Since we were desperate for money, rather than Alex staying at the ship, we had to go all out and everyone went back in. This was shaping up to be something special, and then it was all crushed.
There's a bracken and a nutcracker where I'm at.
Oh, Jester's on me.
Oh, dude.
So yeah, be careful. Oh, Nutcracker's on me.
Yeah, a Jester spawned as well as a Nutcracker, which pretty much forced me out of the building and meant I couldn't return. This same Jester would then go on to kill Sam, and just a few seconds later, Alec was killed by a terribly placed Nutcracker. With the mansion closed off by a jester that would insta-kill me upon stepping inside, and me being the only player left alive, I had to make a choice that would either save the run or completely ruin it.
I'm sorry, boys. I had to stay at the ship. See, if I left, we would have had nothing. Alright, boys. It's all or nothing.
It was time to go all in. The final day earned us almost $900, which was easily one of the best rend days we have ever had. So let's see if it was all worth it. The final quota was a grand total of $2,921, and with nothing else to lose, we just started selling our entire net worth to the Octopus Man. We first sold the Nutcracker's shotgun, since earlier it tried to take us out for the second time in one run.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh my god.
I don't know what. I don't know. Is it the gun?
The gun just went off. The gun just went off.
think that's-
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Although, after a very doubtful few minutes of us loading up items and basically going through the 5 stages of grief, it looked like we might actually do it.
The thing is full, so I'm gonna ring bell.
Yeah. Ring the bell.
We're actually close, like close-ish. I mean, I don't think we got it.
I don't think we did.
I kind of
either.
lied when I said we were close.
Don't think we got it. Unless that's like 1,000.
1,758 out of 2,921. So we need 1,200 more. So we're maybe.
Honestly?
Maybe.
We're not.
Kind of down to the wire, but.
Oh, I have another egg.
Yeah, I don't know what you're
Close
doing
to
there.
it.
Oh. Wait.
Wait a second.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Pretty close.
Chicken Ninja made a god call by staying in the ship. Actually, hold on.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. Let him cook. Let him Gordon Ramsay for a second. Hold on, boys. Hold on, boys.
Oh wait! Oh my God! Okay.
We're close.
We're close.
Right there. We're
Yeah,
basically
I
there.
think we got it.
Come
I think we got it.
It's gonna be like 3, 4. Yeah, 4.
Oh my God, we did it.
I think we're right there. We're right there. I mean, that's it, right? Like this is.
That's
gotta be
it.
right?
I guess we're selling everything anyway, right?
It's gotta be.
I think
It's gotta
that's
be.
it.
It's gotta be. That's 27, boys. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh my God.
That's right, we did it! Finally, after hours and hours of attempts, we got it done, quota 10 without running, jumping, crouching, or using items. With all those items turned in, we still didn't believe our sleep-deprived brains that this was actually quota 10, so after taking 5 minutes to confirm that this indeed was quota 10, we started up the ship and hit a sick boogie as we celebrated the end of the challenge.
Pilot ship, where you will eat and sleep for the duration of your contract. Make yourself at home. To complete the onboarding process, you will want to check the instruction manual and sign into your ship's computer terminal. We trust you will be a great asset to the company.
Oh yeah, baby, of course we got it done. First off, I want to give a huge shout out to both Sample and Barely Alec, because obviously without them, this video wouldn't have been possible. This video was easily one of the most fun things I've ever got to record, and it was definitely because of these two legends, so make sure you check them both out.
No, I'm in It's just me speaking.
I'm not gonna go down the stupid path. I'm gonna go down the baby path, baby row.
I'm out of here.
What in the f was that?
Everyone was banking on you being safe.
I'm sorry.
Alec, I don't know what you're saying. Nice nose. You look like Lois Simpson. What? Okay. Just come in here.
What?
Just wait, there's no way that actually worked.
I'm back.
That's not even the problem. The forest
At that point,
giants.
it would be the giant.
I just don't want to scream right now.
What is he doing? What is he doing?
Doesn't really like it actually.
What is he doing? What is he doing?
What is he doing? What did you...
I see.
And that pretty much does it. This game is super complex, and there's definitely other things we could do with this game, so if you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments below. Or if you have a challenge you want me to attempt for a specific game, you can comment that as well. And of course, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.